Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I am Chef Marcus Giuliano, and I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is food safety. And the stuff that goes on behind the scenes at restaurants and meatpacking houses that you have no idea, or maybe you have an idea, but just don't know how messed up it is. I want to talk about meat in particular. There's a term out there, a gentleman who invented this term called jacquard. His name was Jacquard. J-A-C-A-R-D, jacquard. And it's a method of tenderizing meat. So you take a series of needles and you actually put it through the meat. So the meat gets rolled into these needles. You can get a home version that you can just sit there and needle your meat away. But they do it in factories at massive quantities, and you'd be quite shocked. Let's go to some pictures here. And you can buy these hand machines all over. In fact, Rachael Ray has it on her website, and I don't think this is a safe way of eating meat, preparing meat. So here's meat. The left side has not been needled. The right side has been needled. You can see the series of puncture wounds in there, which is open to contaminating. If there's a piece of E. coli on the needles, they're going to go through and get right into the middle of the meat. There's an actual home version that you can buy. Now, these are like 30, 40 bucks, and you'll see it on the Rachael Ray website because she's promoting this method of tenderizing beef by selling these things. But that's basically what you can do at home. And, you know, if you have a contaminant in one piece of meat, you're going to spread that throughout the rest of the meat. And it's going to go into the middle of the meat. And as you cook meat medium rare, you're not going to kill that. Now, here's what they do in the factories and the plants and the meat processing plants. You can run thousands of pounds through that thing in an hour and just keep going and literally contaminate everything across the board. E. coli runs rampant in slaughterhouses, and you're going to contaminate. There's Rachael Ray, $39.95 for a jacquard 45 blade meat tenderizer. I wonder how the home cook would actually clean this. I mean, you have to bleach these, but how about if you don't clean it good enough and you go to reuse it again from steak to steak? That, again, there is the needled meat. So what's on the needles goes into the meat, and restaurants do this like crazy. Like crazy. This is a common practice. So the bottom line is, eating meat is not a good idea that's been jacquarded. And you'd be really surprised. It's done in a lot of fast food restaurants. It's a way for them, the restaurant industry, the meat industry, to take cuts of meat that aren't quite so tender and trying to tenderize them. It does work to a certain extent, but because you're basically puncturing the blaze out of this beef. So yes, it does tenderize to a certain extent, but you'd be surprised. All these fast food restaurants, all these chains, they're doing it. This is what they're using. They're taking cheaper, inferior cuts of meat, lesser grades that aren't quite as tender, lesser cuts that normally wouldn't be served as a steak, because you put a steak on a plate, there's more value than when it's ground into meatloaf or into a chili or something like that. When you think about it, steaks cost more. Steaks have a more prestige. So it's a way of taking cuts that you really shouldn't be serving as steaks and trying to get away with it and risking your safety on top of it and not giving you a warning or anything. So, Rachael Ray, you shouldn't be selling that. You should be educating people on what's wrong with jacquarding on an industrial level. Buy a higher quality of meat, or just don't eat the meat to begin with. It's that simple. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thank you for watching, and ask questions when you got to ask. When you're at a restaurant, ask: has the meat been needled? Has it been jacquarded? See what they say. A lot of places don't want to admit they're doing that. It's like as a chef in the industry, chefs don't like admitting that they're doing that to the meat, because they're now saying, well, yeah, they're admitting to, well, I am buying an inferior cut or something that shouldn't be served as a steak, and I'm trying to manipulate it so I can make more money. So it's all about the money. So ask, see what kind of answers you get. It'd be interesting, because a lot of restaurants are doing it. Trust me, they're doing it. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching.